Hello and welcome to another episode of Live Feed with your host Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by TravelingTechTeacher.com. For all your digital resources, check out TravelingTechTeacher.com. Also brought to you by TheBullyExposed.com, a 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying, so let them help you. SK Bex, welcome to the show. So give me one moment as I invite some more people in who are interested in me doing the show at this time. I want to thank all you guys for letting us know that you are interested in doing the show. That's what this is all about. This show is all about you. Steve, thank you for joining the show. Where are you guys from? Let me know. I know Bex is from the UK, SK is from New York. Steve, where are you from? So we're going to continue our talk with Tully and his conversation about family and what is important with the family. And there's Tully. Tully's joining us. Where Bex is, where Pico is going to join us as well. Before we continue, I want to let you guys know. So you can see I did some self-care today. Shaved my head. Shaved my face. I did some self-care. When I first, before I started realizing that shaving was self-care, I used to think that it was always, I don't like shaving. And there's Pico, how you doing? I don't like shaving. And shaving was always a pain. Oh God, I gotta shave. All right, I'm gonna shave. Here I go, I'm gonna shave. I just hated shaving. But now, I don't look at shaving as shaving anymore. I look at it as self-care. So rather than say, well, I need to go and shave, I say to myself, I need to do some self-care. So I did some self-care today. Thank you everyone joining us. Simply Just Prince. Where are you from? There's a name we haven't heard. So Tully's, start it off. Smash that question mark and tell us what has been going on with your situation with your mother-in-law or your stepmother-in-law, and let's continue to talk from yesterday. Tully says, yes, I agree with you. My kids hate it when I shave my head. I just hate it. It's just such a pain in the butt to shave. Beck says, sorry, I can't hear at the moment out of audio. Oh, okay, but this can be a torture if in an abusive setting. Foster homes can channel sometimes easier to be lost. Psychopathic elders. What else we got here? Sibling rivalry and blended rivals. Oh wow, very interesting. Thank you, Bex. She can't hear me, so I'm gonna put there. Yes, thank you, Bex. So I'll put a little thank you, Bex, for her there. Yes, hair is overrated. No hair is cool. Thank you. So, what's been going on, Tully? Tell us a little bit more about what's going on. Now, I know Tully also wanted to talk about sibling rivalry. You know, or when when one child is bullying another. For me, I think that, and I'm not a child expert, so please seek to help a professional before doing any of the things that I tell you. Remember that, guys. I'm not a professional. I'm just a normal person like you. For me, if I had one child that was bullying another, I would definitely sit them down and talk to them about it. If they kept on bullying, then that kid unfortunately has to be punished or somehow made to understand what, I'm not talking about hitting the child or spanking the child. I'm just somehow making the child understand that you shouldn't bully anybody, but you definitely should not bully a member of your family. And that's how I would handle that. So talk to us, Tully. Tell us what's going on. We need you to drive this episode for us by smashing the heart and typing in your quick question or your statement so we can get it going. SK says New York has gotten dangerous. Dangerous how, SK, with crime or because of the coronavirus? I hear that things are going up in the States again. You know, the one thing that I don't like, I really don't like this. I saw an article the other day that came from an American paper. I don't know what paper it was, but they said that viruses are going up all over Europe. The virus, I should say, the virus is going up all over Guam, is going up all over Japan, and going up all over these Japanese cities. Okay, and so what I did was I didn't rely on the paper. I just looked for myself. First of all, I live in Guam. Things are not going up. Things are going okay. We might have, you know, our numbers might be going up, but they're still in the teens. You know, this newspaper is trying to indicate that it was going nuts, like we're having 1,000 people a day, you know, test positive, and that is not the truth. And then when it comes to Italy, I've talked to new friends that I made out there, and they're telling me that that's not true. My son is going to a school. He's going to start a school out in Italy, and they just had their school, how you call it, orientation, and that was live in person. And so I don't understand where these papers are getting all this information that outside of the U.S. it's looking bad. I think that what these papers are trying to do is trying to make it look like it looks bad in Japan, and it looks bad in Australia, and it looks bad in the UK and in Italy, but when actuality it's not, and where it's looking bad is in the United States. That's what I'm understanding. So SK says it's gotten dangerous with crime. There's over 1,000 shootings here a year. Wow, that's crazy. Let's see. My wife spoke to her dad, and she really let him have it. Oh wow. Well, that's not the answer to let him have it. Beyond Vitiglo, thank you for joining the show. She shouldn't let him have it. She shouldn't let him, it shouldn't turn into a fight. That's for sure. Let's see. Pico says, Mr. Santiago fits with a shaved head. Thank you. Only fits with medium long hair. Thank you very much. J Jaguar 77, thanks for joining the show. Where are you from? And Tully goes on to say, and he was very quiet on the phone after she told him off. Her dad just allowed his wife to say whatever she wants to say, regards saying what's on her mind. Wait, I read that wrong. Dad just allows his wife to say whatever she wants to say, regardless saying what's on her mind. Well, it's good that she said what's on her mind, but I hope that she didn't hurt her father's feelings, because hurting her father's feelings is going to just make things worse for the whole situation. So I hope that's not what she did. But what came out of that? What anything come out of that? Anything good come out of that? And today's screen is our family, and it really makes me mad because I made this so that it changes in Italian and in Spanish and in Japanese, but it for some reason it's not working. It didn't work right. So I'm really sorry about that. But I had this all set to rotate in different languages. Maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow and we'll use this one again. Um, so how did that turn out? How did the discussion turn out? Did even though the father got told off, was he understanding and was he happy? We haven't heard back from him. Ugh, that's not a good sign. See, she might have hurt his feelings, and I know that she's hurt, but she should have maybe talked to her dad a little nicer. But that does happen. Um, so what do you think is gonna come? What do you hope to come out of it? What do you think is gonna come out of it, Tully? Maybe maybe this time he's heard, he heard your daughter. I mean your sister, your wife. Sorry, maybe he heard your wife this time, and maybe he's ready to really make that change and tell his wife that she's got to calm down. That is very. You got to understand, guys. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know what I'm saying? Because if he lets his wife continue to insult him, he's going to lose his daughter. If he allows his daughter, I mean, if he stands up for his daughter, which he should do, which is the right thing to do, he might lose his wife. So it's tough. But I know that I'm never afraid to lose the wife. And SK, thank you very much for starting the Q&A. SK starts it with a cowboy, a smiley face cowboy hat. Who can top SKs? Come on. Who can top it? But that's tough. But when it comes to your kids, let's move on to your kids, Tully. What are one of your kids bullying the other ones? Is that why you wanted to talk about bullying when it came to kids? Miles, John Dean, thank you for joining the show. Where are you from? Well, when it comes to kids, I know this, kids will pick on kids. One of the best things you can do is the kid that's being picked on, tell the kid, speak up for yourself. Don't hit your brother, don't argue with your brother, but at least speak up for yourself. Sometimes like Chris said this week, if you watch our interview with Chris Dunn, the USA Olympic track runner, he said that when he spoke up, his friends respected that and they left him alone. So one thing that I definitely would tell the kid who's being bullied in the home by a cousin or by another brother or sister is to definitely turn around and speak up for yourself. So Pico says, what's today's topic? Does it not showing up, guys? The topic should be showing up. It should be saying bullying in the family is the topic. Do you guys see it somewhere there? It should be there. If it's not, I apologize. So let's see. Tully says at her house, they are only photos of her family and not our family. Wow. That's not good. And SK says, how come sometimes random people will join and then leave? I think they just want to see what it's about. So they'll join and then they'll leave. Sometimes I think people might have hit the wrong button. Neptune 3, thank you for joining the show. Where are you from? So I think they might have hit the wrong button, and then they kind of go out, or they might see things that something that's not interesting to them, unfortunately. But so family, bullying in the family is the topic we're talking about today. In case you're joining us, um, Pico says my phone is blurry. Turn off your phone and turn it back on. I don't know why that is. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, well, if it's blurry, it's because you're not getting enough bandwidth coming in, and that's why it might be blurry. But anybody had sibling rivalry? I know my brother would sometimes. He wouldn't bully me. I wouldn't say he would bully me. My older brother, I wouldn't say he would bully me. But I know that sometimes he had a short temper. And if we got into an argument, those arguments would end up sometimes in fights between us. So that's not good either. But my parents have always raised us that family is important. You try to do good. So having like a person that's really going out of their way and bullying, I don't think we've had that. But I know if I ever had that as a kid growing up, I would have just defended myself. And if the cousin would have been way bigger than me, then I definitely would have told my parents. And I think they would have put that to an end. But I never had that problem. So what else, guys? What else do you want to talk about? We had some other people that said they wanted to do a show, but they totally haven't come in yet. And I was a little late. And I do apologize, guys. I was working with something with my son. We finally did a video together where my son supplied the voiceover, and we did the art. We did the art together. So SK says, "Do you miss New York?" Wow, that's a very difficult, good question, SK. I miss New York in terms of the vibe of New York. You know, the food. What else? Yeah, the vibe, the food. You know how cool, New York is, walking through the streets, and how magical it is. It's also a good word, magical it is. But I don't miss the crime. I don't miss the pollution. I don't miss any of those things, unfortunately. And I hate to be that way, but yeah, I don't miss the negative things about it, but I miss the like I said, the vibe, the food, the magic of New York, but not enough to want to go back there and live. That's for sure. So let's see here. Tully says, with our kids, we can't leave them in a room by themselves. That's very interesting. Which kid is the one that seems to be either getting bullied the most, or seems to be at the end of, where the kids say he or she is bullying me, he or she, which one's the kid that's mostly happening to? Because, like I said, I'm not a professional, guys, but that's the kid that I would sit down, the one that's doing the most bullying, sit down and talk with them first. That's what I would do. SK goes on to say, if you walk in the streets of the Bronx, you probably get robbed. Yeah, probably. It's probably true. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, not interested in going back. But yeah, Tully, so to answer your question, to add on to your statement, I would find out which kid is the one that's try to figure out, based on what the kids say, based on what you see, which one is the one that's doing the most bullying, and or is being the bully the most, and which one is being bullied the most. And definitely talk to those two, talk to all three at the same time. Let's see. Both Brianna and Jaden, my oldest kid, constantly fight. Okay, so let me understand this correctly. So Brianna, I'm understanding, is the oldest, right? And Jaden is probably the oldest son. Then you got a younger son. Yeah, we'll sit them both down then, and let them know you guys have to start figuring things out. Um, maybe is it really, like some family kids, they have huge fights, and one kid will end up with a black eye or end up hurt in some way. The kid will hit him with one kid will hit him with a toy. I've seen that happen. That's definitely, whenever that happens, you definitely have to put that. You really have to address that right away. That's for sure, and let the kid know who got hit. I mean, who did the hitting with, if he threw a toy at him or something of that nature, that you can't be doing that to anyone. He can't be doing that to anyone. It's not just his siblings. Your kids should not be hitting anyone with any type of game or device, or whatever it may be. So the fighting is not like that. They're just constantly fighting, right? I'm gonna ask some of my peeps who deal in that, children's psychology, what should happen. So SK asked for an update. Well, we still do not know when we're leaving, okay, because Italy has not given us or processed our visa, and you can't work in Italy without a visa. This name is tough. I'm gonna call you 93. 93, thank you for joining the show. Where are you from? So Tully continues to say that Jaden is 13. Okay, and Brianna's 12. Okay, I thought Brianna was the oldest. Okay, so you have an oldest son, you have a daughter in the middle, then you have a younger son. Okay, so, and thankfully no violence, just name calling or teasing each other. Okay, well that's good. That's good. So they just have, I don't want to normalize their behavior because it's not normal, but they just have the typical interactions, concerning interactions between siblings. That's good. I'm glad it's not turning into violence. Well, for me, the first thing I would definitely do is tell Jaden that he is the oldest, and he has to set an example for the other two kids. Gemma Noble, thank you for joining the show. Where are you from? So definitely, so Jaden is the oldest. He has to set an example. And find out what's going on between the two. Why they sit them down. Definitely say, okay, hello, Gemma. Thank you for joining the show. Where are you from? Today, if you're just joining us, we're talking about bullies in the family. Bullying in the family. And once again, I do want to make my statement of this. For me, I don't call when a child is bullying another child, or an adult is bullying a child, or whatever the case may be. I don't call it bullying. Okay, I call it the domestic abuse, and it should be handled very carefully. So we have a person from Ohio. Well, welcome, Gemma, to the show. If you have any questions, just smash that question mark and type in your question. If you have any question about bullying, if you have any question about family bullying, is there do you tend to argue with your brothers or sisters, or if you're an adult now, did you argue with your brothers and sisters when you were younger? So let's continue, Tully. I went on a different screen. So let's see. Okay, here we go. What are your thoughts about WWF? Awesome. Well, that's a good question. Well, as you know, we're hopefully going to be making a film with Little Boogeyman about the bullying he's experienced as a person of short stature. So, as a kid, I loved the WWE. I grew up with it. When I was younger, me and my cousin, we would go a lot to go see them live. So I really love wrestling. I don't know too much about wrestling now, I will admit, as an adult. I'm not into wrestling that much, but I do have a friend. Well, when I used to live in Vegas, I had a friend that he's into wrestling a lot, and every time they have, what is it, like WrestleMania and all that stuff, he has a big WrestleMania party, and we used to go to his house a lot. So I've seen a lot of the newer guys wrestling, but I used to love wrestling. I used to love wrestling a lot, I have to admit, as a kid. When I grew up, I was just too busy to follow it. You're too busy to follow wrestling for me. So I kind of drew away from it. But hopefully with Little Boogeyman doing this film with us about bullying, hopefully I'll get more closer to it. So let's see here. Pico says bullying in family is very serious for mental health. Yeah, definitely. If you have to live with your bully every day, and that's why I don't call it bullying, and that's why it's a much bigger thing. It's domestic violence, and it needs to be addressed very seriously and very quickly. So let's see here. Gemma, I don't know if Gemma's still there, but she says she's from Ohio. Well, welcome, Gemma. Thank you for stopping by, even if it was for a few minutes. Let's see. I don't know who the guy cursing is, but I blocked him, so don't worry about it, guys. So let's see. So back to what date do you leave? So because the visa people have not, or I should say the embassy of Italy has not cleared our visa, we have no date as to when we're leaving. We're living out of boxes, and we the only thing I can say is thank God to our good friends. Like the car is gone, the dogs are gonna leave on Tuesday, because if they don't leave on Tuesday, next Tuesday. If they don't leave next Tuesday, then they're gonna be stuck here on the island. So it looks like they're gonna be at Italy before us. We're gonna have them boarded in Italy, and then when we get there, whenever that would be, we will take care of our dogs. I don't like the idea of the dogs leaving before us, because what if we don't get to Italy for 6 months? Then we're paying someone to board our dogs for 6 months, but you know, it's tough. It really is tough. So that's our situation. Hopefully, Italy will get a move on and process our visas quickly. But that's it right now. So thank you. Thank you very much for asking about that. I definitely, as things change, I will let you guys know, especially once our date is set, because I want you guys to know, just in case I don't have internet access to do a show, you guys will understand. Well, that's because he's moving. So let's see what we got here. See, Tully says, Pico, can I ask about what it is that you argued about? Let's see. And Pico says about paintball gun. Should we buy? Which paintball gun should we buy? Both paintball fans. And which video game should we buy? So Pico's having a little discussion with his girlfriend about that. Let's see. Do you live in Hawaii? No, I live in Guam. I live on an Air Force base in Guam. And Air Force base in Guam. That's where I live now. And so, I wanted to tell you guys, the other day my aunt was telling me that she's going to show me a picture, and I'm going to show it to you also. I just learned that, now I knew that my uncle, who was also my godfather, he was my godfather / uncle, he was in the Air Force. That I've always knew. But what I didn't know is that he was also stationed in the base where I live now. And she has a picture of him that she's going to get to me, and I'll share it with you guys. My uncle was actually stationed on this base where I lived when he was in the Air Force. Unfortunately, my uncle has since passed away. But my uncle was here, I think it was during Vietnam. That's how long ago my uncle was stationed at this base. So it'll be very interesting to see what the base, I hope that the picture is a wide shot of him so I can at least see what the base looked like back then. I'm sure it looks the same because they don't really change these things. But thank you. Yes, thank you so much for your questions, guys. Keep those questions or statements coming. Does Rico-chan, and I'm sorry that I didn't give the official welcome to Rico-chan, so let me do it. Konnichiwa, Rico-chan. Does she have another question for me? Let's see, and Pico still goes on to saying, yes, which blank position should we perform? Pico, keep it clean, my friend, come on. You guys argue about what position? You know what, kids, hold your ears, kids. Dude, do them all. Don't just do one, do them all. Make yourselves happy. That guy's cursing was a troll. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And, we will not pay any attention to the trolls. We will not give them a platform, right? Because when we give trolls a platform, what happens? Then we lose track of what we're talking about and we forget what we're doing, and then more trolls come in. So we are not going to pay any attention to any trolls on this site. And the bigger it grows, the more trolls we're going to get. And thank God that, Instagram has a button where I just 2 clicks. I click their name, I click get rid of, and they're gone. So we don't even know them around. Let's change the subject just in case a kid is seeing this, guys, all right? Let's change the subject. Just in case a kid's seeing it. Or at least give a code, a real good code for what you guys are writing, all right? That way the kids don't see it. And if the kids see it, they don't know what you're talking about, at least. because, be honest, kids are only a small percentage. I wasn't starting this show for kids or adults or anybody. Okay, kids at first were the ones that were mostly in. Please thank you for the love. Okay, guys, slam that heart and show me some more love. Thank you. I'm waiting for a question from Rico Chan. Okay, can you tell Rico that I'm waiting for another question from her? Let's pull up the last question she asked. Boom, 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 boom. Where are you? I can't find it. Oh, there it is. So we're hoping for another question from Rico Chan. Where did Young Blue go? I think it's too early in the morning. It's 7 or 8 o'clock right now, right? SK, and he's in the same time zone you're in. I don't know. Just usually he comes on at this time. He must be really busy. So let's see. I think we got another question. Yes, we got another question from Rico Chan, and she says, "How do we prevent home bullying?" Okay. Again, talk. I think we kind of went over this yesterday, but I'll go over it again because not everybody. SK wasn't here yesterday, and someone's going to see this that wasn't here yesterday. So the best way I think is on how to prevent home bullying is to always keep communication always open, always talk. When you guys get to the point where you're laying hands on each other, or you're pushing each other around or something, separate. And if you pushed your girlfriend or your girlfriend has pushed you, when I say separate, you guys need to leave the house. One of you need to leave the house. Leave the house, separate yourself in that way, and I think that's the best thing to do. I know that me and my wife don't get into arguments where we're pushing each other, but we get into arguments where we're yelling very loud, and the first thing we do is we separate. We either go into other rooms, or someone takes a walk, or someone takes the car and leaves. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, here it goes. SK says, I recently had a fight. What? Tell me about it. SK, what happened? And let's see. Oh, and he goes on to say, okay, he recently had a fight and he won. Okay, and he won. Well, did you have a fight, or were you defending yourself? Because I am gonna say right now, it's never good to fight, guys. Always defend yourself. All right. I'm not gonna be one of those guys that say it's never good to fight. It's never good to fight. It's never good to defend yourself. No, that's not true. It's never good to fight, but it's always good to defend yourself. And what is the difference, just in case someone's gonna ask? Fight is you started the fight. You pushed, you punched, you were the first one to fight. You were the first one to take the swing. You were the first one to do that. When someone defended themselves, someone struck, they got out of the way, they moved out of the way or whatever, and they struck back. That's defending yourself. So there's the difference between fighting and defending yourself. And I'm always going to say it's never good to fight, but always good to defend yourself. So in other words, don't be the person that swings first, guys. Let's see, Pico has a question. Pico says, we are very afraid because we still know that we are not mature yet, me and my girlfriend. I don't know. I say you're mature. Don't you guys live alone? You guys are paying your own rent, right? Let me know. You have a very, very serious job as a police officer, Pico. So I think that's very mature. You guys are paying your own bills, I believe. Okay, he says yes. Okay, so yeah, you're paying your own bills. You live on your own. I feel that's mature. You know, just because you want to play video games once in a while, uh, or you want to do paintball, doesn't make you immature. That doesn't make you immature at all. You know, I like to do things. Sometimes I joke around. My wife's like, "Oh, you're so immature at times." You know, I think the problem immaturity. You know what immaturity is to me is when you play video games all day long. You don't go to work. That's immature. You you it costs you $20, let's say, to go paintball, to do the paintball, but you have a bill that's $20 that needs to be paid. You know, your cell phone bill needs to be paid, but you rather go out and do paintball. To me, that's immaturity. That's immaturity. If you're 16 years old and you're paying your own bills, everything is paid for, everything is legit, everything's good, that's mature. That's maturity. The being an adult is just doing. The only difference between being an adult and being a kid is you're doing the things that you're supposed to do to survive. To me, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that's the difference between an adult and a kid. Let's see. And I know that SK came up with this before. Arthur Morgan. Refresh my memory who Arthur Morgan is again. Um, right. I know you're not. I know you're not 16, Pico. I know you're not 16. I'm saying a person can be 16 years old. All right. Have their own job, have everything, and as long as they pay the bills and everything like that, they are mature. That's maturity to me. I know you're not 16. Uh, Turning 18 next February. Oh, you are young. Wow, I thought you were older than 18. Wow. Well, be sure to remind me a couple of days before your birthday so we can throw you a virtual party, all right? And Tully says, in my experience, I think that it is best for the guys to be the first to apologize. You think so? Even if they did nothing wrong, Pico? For instance, um, my wife is always the type that does everything by the book. You know, I am the type that does everything by the book, but I understand that sometimes you can't do things by the book. You know, it's just not feasible. You know, so when I go outside of the book, my wife hates that, and she'll scream and yell at me when I go outside the book, but then she always comes in and apologizes for getting out of hand. And I just know that's the way she is, so I'm cool with it, you know. Um, but yeah, and in that case, I would not be the first one to apologize. But yeah, you're right. There's nothing wrong with, women have been treated very wrong in our societies, unfortunately. And there's nothing wrong with the guy being the first to apologize. That's for sure. Let's see. Pico also goes on to say, I will tell you on DM. Okay, sure. Parting. Why are you saying parting, Pico? Now let's see. I think we have another question. Thank you guys for all the questions. Oh, that's right. He's a video game. He's a character on Red Redemption or something, right? Did I get the right? Did I get the right game? So this chair, it's really not that comfortable, and so I gotta twist my back a little bit. So let's see. We got 15 more minutes, guys. So what do you want to talk about now? Telly, are you done talking with your situation with your kids and your wife? I think I asked you if I missed it. I apologize, but what do you think is going to be the outcome with the dad now? Red Dead Redemption 2. Thank you. I butchered that name up, didn't I? Ugh, I really killed it. Let's see. SK says yes to my question. Yes, Red Dead Redemption. When it comes to video games, if you guys are wondering, Mortal Kombat's my favorite one. Mortal Kombat. I really like um, Detroit Become Human. I'm not good at playing it, but I really like the whole concept of it. I think it's real good. So I really like that one. Uh, so Pico wants to know if the game is good. I've never played Red Dead Redemption 2 or 1. So if you know, yeah, SK says the game's really good. So anybody, and out of the two games I just mentioned, does anybody like those? Anybody like the ones I mentioned? Anybody played the one I mentioned? Pico says my favorite is Rainbow Six Siege. My son loves that one. He plays that one a lot. What else? My son, and I like watching him play it. He plays God. Oh man, I can't remember the name of the game now. Hold on. I forgot it. I'm gonna have to ask you guys another time because I can't text my son right now. Otherwise, I lose the music, and I don't want to lose the music. Red Dead Redemption says SK is the best game ever played. Wow. I like GTA 5. Yeah, I used to like that one too. Also, I should say. I like that one also. Grand Theft Auto, yes. But maybe if I explain the game to you guys can tell me. It's I think it's the God of Thunder is playing, and he plays, and you play him and his son, and they're trying to get, I don't know what they're trying to get through, but it's him and his son, and the guy is a god. I think he's a Greek god. He has a red thing coming through his face. I can't remember the name of the game. If you guys remember that game, let me know. Yes, I'm done. Yeah, as usual, it'll take him a while because before he contacts us, he doesn't actually apologize for his wife's bad behavior. Yeah, that's real tough, and maybe all four of you should sit down, or if not all four of you, just the stepmom, the dad, and your wife should sit down and talk. But it's really sad, guys and girls, everyone, please do not join a family if you're going to be jealous that the kids are going to talk about the mom, do anything. You got to understand, when you enter into a family, the kids, and that person had another life. Be grown up about it. My mother-in-law just married a guy whose wife just died, and they keep her ashes on the fireplace, or near the fireplace, and she has no problem with that. This is the way you have to understand. You have to be. Person had a life before you. I don't understand why people are like that. Let's see. Okay, I answered that one. There's another question. Let's see who's this question. Okay, SK says that he won. I won, but I was defending myself. Okay, good job. Yeah, never strike first, guys, for a lot of reasons. For legal reasons, most places now are videotaped, so they can see who started the fight. You should, even there's a boxer that I used to follow, and he used to give self-defense tips. And one thing that he said a lot, I can't remember the boxer's name, or I would give him some credit right now. One thing he said a lot is that when someone's about to fight with you, you should say, hey, you should say, no, I don't want to fight with you, back up. And when you back up, you should try and get someone's attention to say, hey, you see that I'm trying to back up, right? And then you back up again. Hey, back up. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight you. Back up. And then get someone else and, hey, you guys see that I'm trying to get him to stay away and to leave me alone, right? You see that and why he does that is because then if the person strikes you and you hit them, and let's just say you knock them out, they swing, you hit, and you knock them out. When the police come and they see him laid out, they're gonna think you are the one that started the fight because you're still up and awake, right? Or you don't have any bruises on you, whatever the case may be. So you go to those people that you asked, hey, here's my witnesses. You grab them, you say, you saw me, right? I told the guy, leave me alone, stop bothering me, stop bullying me, whatever it is that you said. You saw that, right? And then those people come and they tell the police officer, yeah, he said, 3 times, leave him alone. He kept backing up. But be careful, guys, and make sure that when you back up away from somebody, that you're not backing into something that's going to trip you and knock you over, okay? The way I look at it is you should act like you're boxing. So when you back up once, you should then take a side step and then, and back up again and then take a side step, and you're going in a kind of a circle, and so you don't trip over something, because a bully can be waiting for that, for you to trip over, and then he's going to jump on you. So remember that, guys. Look for witnesses. That's what you say. Hey, you back up. Don't tell the guy gets in your face, don't push the guy back, because you just assaulted the guy because you put your hands on him. Remember that, guys. You put your hands on someone, that's assault. Whether they're injured or not, that's assault. So, you say, hey, you back yourself up. You see how I'm backing myself up. Hey, you see that I'm trying to diffuse this situation, right? You look for people. Hey, you guys see that I'm trying to diffuse this, and this guy keeps coming and getting him in my face, right? Hey, back up. I don't want to fight. And then when they swing, you do the old bob and weave, you knock them out, and then you go get your witnesses again. You saw me, right? I told him leave me alone. I told him stop, and he wouldn't stop. All right, let's see. We're almost time to end the show. So let's see what we got. I had a few arguments with her on Facebook. Okay, with your mother-in-law, huh? Wow, that's terrible. That is terrible. Yeah, I think the best thing is for the 3 of you to go in and talk. That's for sure. Otherwise, this family is going to be torn apart. So I want to thank you guys. I'm sorry again that my video didn't work out. I had a video for you that maybe I'll show you guys tomorrow. We'll talk some more about family, and I'll show you guys the video tomorrow. That this video is supposed to be rotating and saying family in different languages, but unfortunately it doesn't. I want to thank you guys for DMing me and telling me that you wanted to start the show. I appreciate that. Let's do it again tomorrow, 9 o'clock again tomorrow, for our people on the East Coast and our people on this side of the world as well. I want to remind you guys that live feed is brought to you by what? Say it with me. TravelingTechTeacher.com. For all your digital resources, check out TravelingTechTeacher.com. Also brought to you by who? Say it with me. TheBullyExposed.com. A 501c3 non-profit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying. So let them help you. And remember, guys, anyone can wear the crown. Anyone can be a hero. Be kind to one another, and have a great day.